Welcome back to our podcast show, everyone. I'm so excited. I love doing my podcast, and I want to thank you all for watching, subscribing, and being part of this and learning about real estate as an agent or as a buyer and seller. Today is a very special day. I am truly honored and thrilled to have a very dear friend of mine, Lindsay Listanski, who is the field marketing president for marketing of Coldwell Banker. I hope I got that right. Titles can be a
Close. Head
little
of
bit
marketing
long.
for Coldwell Banker Realty. You were close.
Oh, good, good. And the funny thing is, I met Lindsay probably about 16 years ago, and I believe Lindsay had just joined Coldwell Banker at that time. She was a successful real estate agent in New Jersey, and probably just out of college started doing all of that, and then joined Coldwell Banker as a newer employee at the company. And wasn't it right then when we first met? You were brand new at the company, am I right?
I was, and I don't know if I ever told you this story. I started in 2011 at Coldwell Banker as our first ever social media manager. And at the time, I was reporting to our head of public relations. And one of my very first big meetings, so I'm this young, eager 24-year-old in New York City, sitting in this amazing PR conference room. And I remember thinking, like, this is special and this is big. And we're talking about social media influencers. And I remember the very first person that they pulled up on screen was you. And I remember them talking about Christophe Choo, this end all be all social influencer who was trailblazing, cutting edge, using video, social media in just ways that were so innovative and forward thinking. And I thought, God, if I could only meet this guy, like he's a real estate celebrity, he's this industry titan, this is so cool. And then I remember feeling a little starstruck when I met you at the first Gen Blue, being like, it's the guy, it's Christophe Choo, the guy I was looking on screen. And it's so funny that we've become really best friends over the years, someone that I can call for anything. I can always rely on seeing you and feeling better than when I left you because you're just someone that has such great energy and positivity. But I'll never forget you were the first person that was on my, if I ever come across meeting him, it's going to feel really special.
That is really so funny. And from day one when we met, we just immediately connected. As I
Yeah.
said to you many times, if I lived in New Jersey, you lived here in Beverly Hills, we'd be hanging out
Oh, it'd be
all the time.
dangerous. Too much shopping, too much having fun. We would be dangerous together.
Yeah. So I think our first real interaction together was 2011 Gen Blue. Wasn't that the first Gen Blue,
We
2011?
were in New Orleans. Yep. And it was like friendship at first conversation.
Yes, I remember that. And I don't know if you remember this story. I think it was the second or third Gen Blue. It was in New York. And I had a solo talk for 55 minutes in one of those theaters, right?
Yes.
And you were handling it. So I remember get there about 10 minutes before the session backstage. We're talking, and I remember this so well. And yes, you said to me, "Oh, Christoph, where's your laptop in your presentation?" I said, "I don't have one." I think you almost turned white. I think you were like,
I think I did turn white. I was like, what do you mean? We're at New World stages. You're about to speak to hundreds of people. What are you going to talk about?
right. And I said, yeah, I think you said to me, "What are you going to talk to?" Because I didn't have my laptop. I said, "I don't do presentations." And I said to you, I said, "What's the topic of what I'm supposed to talk about?" And I think even then you even turned whiter. And
Yeah,
you
I
said,
was this close to going down at that point.
yeah. And you said, I think getting into luxury real estate or transitioning into luxury, something along those lines. And it was a 55-minute talk, if I recall correctly. And I said, "Lindsay, don't worry. It'll be fine. Just give me a minute or two." I went back by myself, kind of did a little meditation and came out and started speaking. I always speak from the heart. And I still feel it's one of my best and favorite speaking engagements ever. And to this day, when I'm ever at events and I see co-banker agents, two or three times, every time agents say, "I still remember that talk in New York, the magic jacket story and all those different things." So I just remember how funny it was because I remember you must have been so panicked to think
Oh,
this
panicked,
guy's going to
panicked.
mess up.
But you know what? It speaks so much to your authenticity. I think anybody can get on a stage with something that they've rehearsed hundreds and hundreds of times, which again, like I'm not against rehearsal either, but I think
Yes.
what's so magic about what you are and who you are and what you bring to friendship, business, everything that you touch is you are you as true as can be. You are so authentic. What you get is what you get, and I love that about you. I really do.
And I think it's so important. And thank you for saying that. I've always, people may, I think I've discussed this many times on stage. People who don't know me may see me like we all make an instant assessment of someone by how they look, right? They may look at me and go, oh, that, and I always make the term that flashy, bougie, blingy Beverly Hills broker, right? But when they get to know
I
me,
mean, I do need sunglasses when I look at your jewelry, I'll be honest.
That's so funny. Well, didn't mean to digress, but I wanted to share how wonderful Lindsay is and her huge success from being a young girl, joining the company, and now being at one of the highest positions in the corporate world of real estate. And you've received so many honors and you do many things. You have a women's thing, a network you do, and different things. Share a little bit about what you're doing in that aspect.
Yeah, sure. So about 3.5 years ago, Sue Yannicone approached me, who was our original founder of What Moves Her. And that is a company-wide initiative that she had started originally at Coldwell Banker and had
Okay.
scaled across our entire, what is now Compass International Holdings portfolio. And one of the things that Sue really recognized in a male-dominated arena was the absence of women at the leadership table. And when I say leadership table, that could be anything from in your own brokerage to a corporate position. But she looked around and said, we really need to get these women at the table and not just sitting at the table, but having a voice, because those are two very different things. So
Right,
she
right.
started What Moves Her. This is our 6th year, and I'm serving as the executive chair, and it's really scaled across all the different brands. It's worldwide now. We've had tens of thousands of people who have participated in workshops in our newsletter, and it's this tight knit group of women who just really not only look for help, but also look inside at what they can help with and are very generous with knowledge transfer, mentoring, and things like that. It's a really incredible organization.
Yeah. And that's one of the things about you. You're always been generous. And now with the social media having grown so much in, 15, 20 years, one of the things I love is you give so much valuable content. I follow you and have you set
Thank
up on
you.
all of my notifications.
Thank
You do,
you.
and you're doing mostly short videos, like minute
Yes,
or so
snackable.
videos. Yeah, and you're like, okay, watch this for 15 seconds, you get what you need. And that's so important to many of us, right?
Thank you.
But what you teach, and I save it, and I know myself well enough. I save it, and I just figure, remember the 2 minute rule, getting things done? So I'm like, okay, Lindsay says do this, I got to do it right now, then and there. If I do a screenshot or save it, it gets lost in the shuffle. But you give me so many valuable tips. So
Thank
guys,
you.
if you want to learn about valuable tips of marketing and real estate and how it's constantly changing, follow Lindsay on her Instagram channel. You will really learn a lot and very beneficial things. So when I
Thank you.
first met you,
I
yeah,
think it's so important for Coldwell Banker Realty not just to lead in a space of social media, AI, marketing, but I'm the daughter of an agent, I'm the daughter of a broker. I
yes,
truly understand my audience because I grew up in that household. And I think social media has given me this beautiful megaphone of being able to say, you're hearing about this thing. It probably sounds more technical than it actually is. So I've really made a conscious effort over the past year to say once a day or a couple times a week, I'm going to take 30 minutes out of my day, figure out what's hot and break it down really simply. And I don't want all of our agents to feel like they have to do everything. I just want them to feel
right,
like they have someone in their corner that can
right,
introduce them to something. And then the second part of that is remind them that they have 100+ marketing team across the country that is saying, if this is interesting to you, we love it. Come have an appointment with us in the office. Come book
yes,
a next available appointment. So it's not even just introducing that to them. It's saying we have the support to sit down with you and implement this into your business to move you
yes,
forward to the next chapter of wherever you want to go.
yes. And that was one of the things when I first met you, you were single, if I'm not mistaken. Then you got married. Now you have two grown boys that are now 10.
My oldest is 10, and then I have 6-year-old twins, which is
Oh, that's right. You
wild.
have three.
Yeah,
Jeez.
crazy.
So
Boy, mom.
as a very successful businesswoman, and you travel the country a lot, you're always working, you have a marriage, you have three children. How do you manage that, especially women out there? How do you manage being successful and being loving and caring for your family?
It's such a great question. The one thing that I'll say is the older I get, the more I recognize that asking for support's okay. I think that women have this feeling that they have to do it all, and that is
Mm,
where burnout happens. So I have gotten really comfortable with leaning not just on my spouse, but on my husband, on friends, where before I would be like, oh, I don't want to ask you to drive my son to basketball. You're going anyway. And you know what? It makes people feel good. And I make sure that I could reciprocate whenever I can. The other thing that I learned from a woman that was high up in our HR organization years ago as a mom, she said, outsource everything but love. And what that means is
Ooh.
anything that you can find to make your life faster, easier, better, more efficient, do it. So, for example, I am very fortunate that I could afford to have a nanny a couple hours a week. That's been a life changing thing for me.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
am okay with using an app called Duckbill. Duckbill is almost like a personal virtual assistant where, you know what, I have this medical bill that I know is wrong. I don't have hours to sit on the phone with someone. I can outsource that to them and they'll do it for me. I need to get a client a gift, they'll go buy it, and it's a subscription that you can pay for. And that's also been great. But this idea of outsourcing anything but love so that I protect my time with my family really helps me to, I'm never going to say balance because balance is a silly word, but it helps me to find some type of balance that works for me on a daily basis.
Right. Because you're probably like me. I mean, we work really hard, from getting up in the morning till we get home. But when I get home, unless I'm working on a deal, I really need to shut that all down. My home is my sanctuary, my place to recharge, regenerate myself. Because if we don't regenerate ourselves and give the love and get back the love,
Sure.
we're like batteries. We got to rebuild ourselves every day. So that's why
For
I
sure.
think you've got that done pretty well.
Thank you. Some days yes, some days no. But I do try to be very, very present with the kids, especially because I want them to feel like I'm, super interested in whatever they're talking about. And they know that there are certain times where I have to go in my office, close the door, and I'm off limits. And they've gotten
Right.
really accustomed to, mommy works and mommy gives us nice things and she works hard so that we can have a great life. And my oldest son has a very expensive basketball habit. So,
Uh-oh.
he understands. I'm like, listen, you want to go to all these tournaments all over the country, mommy has to work.
No, I get that. So, social media and marketing, not just social media, all sorts of marketing is constantly evolving and changing. When I first did my first videos, gosh, about 20 years ago, there was no one in that space. YouTube, nobody was doing it. Now there's a lot of brokers in that space and all that. So today, and it might change tomorrow, what are the two or three most important things an agent should do on a daily basis to promote themselves, promote their properties, and help educate their clients? So what would you say
Yeah,
are the things?
it's such a great question. So one of the things that we're pushing really hard right now, actually two things that we're pushing hard right now at Coldwell Banker Realty are digital audits to make sure that your whole footprint is optimized for something called AEO and GEO. AEO is answer engine optimization. GEO is generative engine optimization. It's a very fancy way of saying you want to be able to be the thing that Google and AI recommends when someone is asking them a question. So if they're going to ChatGPT, Gemini, Copilot, whatever, they're asking questions like they used to ask to Google. How do we position our Coldwell Banker Realty agents to be the ones that come up? Not just come up for who's the number one agent in my market, but I
Right.
have a $10 million listing in Beverly Hills. Who can I trust with this type of estate? So we're really training our agents on three different pillars. Their Google business profile, which some agents have slept on. It's becoming really important. We're training them on reviews and then we're training them on social content. Now, when social content comes up, the very question I get asked always is which of them matter, which of them don't. In an AEO and GEO world, YouTube and Instagram are hands down the two most important places to be. YouTube is
Yes.
owned by Google. If you look at the sources where AI is saying, here's where I pulled from, Google is very often, or I'm sorry, YouTube is very often in there.
Yes.
And what I'm teaching to our agents is you should be creating content on YouTube, but what you can also do is lean on AI to go back to past content and bring it to life. So you could
Yes.
take old videos, you could get the transcript or whatever, go into ChatGPT and say, hey, this is what this video is about. Here's the audience. And here specifically is a zip code or neighborhood because we want to be really geo targeted. Can you
Right.
rewrite the caption and rewrite the descriptions to be AEO and GEO optimized? You're working
Yes.
harder, not smarter, right? So that's really
Yes.
important. And then the last thing that I'm talking to agents about is flipping the pyramid of self promotions and just listed, just sold, and really focusing on lifestyle content, educational content, because that's what AI is looking for. They're looking for an answer to a question. So if you can be
Right.
that answer, you are going to be light years ahead of 99% of the agents out there.
Yes. And like you said, everything's changing. We used to use a Google Business Advisor. This is before Gemini and all that. They're gone
Right.
now. I mean, I've tried to set new appointments. There's no way to even do it anymore. So, but now with Gemini being owned by Google, what we've been doing and learning is basically doing the audits of our YouTube channel, our Google business page. Because our YouTube, as you know, I've had the YouTube channel for about 20 years.
You
We have
were
over,
original. YouTube star. I mean, you were so far ahead. And you know what, Christoph, you're a really good example of early adopters are very hard to catch up with. Because you
Mhm.
planted the stake in the ground, no one's ever going to catch up to where you've been. I think we're at an interesting point in time where that door is going to be open for a little while with early AI adopters, where if you get in, you set a strong business foundation, it's going to be very hard to catch you. And I have
Yes.
told a lot of young women, for me, curiosity has been my greatest career insurance. So I think because I've jumped into social media and data and AI, I've always had a seat at the table in my business. I think
Yeah.
agents that think about what's new and how can I actually use it, not just as a trend, but to really set myself apart as a competitive advantage is going
Yep.
to make a huge difference, not just short term, but long term as well.
Yeah. I mean, there's so many platforms. I mean, I remember when I first started doing social media was, I think 20, I don't know when it was, but uh, 27 to 2007, I think it was. Gary Vaynerchuk and Tom Ferry were at a conference, an elite retreat, and Google just bought YouTube. And he says, from 8 o'clock in the morning till 8 o'clock at night, you're working in your business. 8 o'clock at night till midnight, you work on your business. And talked about doing videos, which I bought my first video camera that afternoon, did my first video at that retreat. And he talked about social media. And I'm like, I didn't want to be on social media. I'm like, I'm kind of private. I don't want people to know my life. But I thought, wait a minute, I can share what I want to share. So every night after that retreat, I'd sit on the sofa watching TV with my laptop. I sign up on uh, Facebook, and I think it was LinkedIn, and a couple of the platforms were, and I just learned it and did it. And not every platform is for everyone. You have to kind of test and
Correct.
try, see
Such
what
a good
works
point.
best for you, because it's not for everything for everyone. I mean, because prior to that, it was all about the blog, and I was great at taking photographs, videos I just started, but I was not a good writer. So when I would post something on the blog, it would take me a couple hours to write a blog. So when Gary said video, I thought that's so easy for me. I don't like scripts. I don't like to review things or do the what are those things where they read it on the screen. I thought,
Teleprompter.
yeah, exactly. I just turn the camera on and speak from my heart, and that seems to work okay. So
It does.
yeah. So and you taught me today about duckbill, which is a great thing.
Very cool. I found out about that from some of our top agents, and I was like, you know what? If you're using it, there's something there. I'm going to try it out.
Yes. So what else would you like to share about marketing and other great things people are doing
I
or
think
what you're
that the
doing?
thing that I'm thinking about so much right now as head of marketing for Coldwell Banker is how to truly leverage and unlock every single ounce of value that has come from the Compass International Holdings merger. It's the biggest deal in real estate history, period.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
what Robert and Rory are giving us from a technology perspective is going to change the lives and business of all of our agents. So, one of the things that we're really focused on right now is getting my 100 plus marketers across the country really well read in on the platform, how to use it, so that in July, when we start rolling this out to our 55,000 agents across the country, we are just ready to go. And
Right.
I'm so blown away by how integrated everything is, how much money, I mean, billions of dollars they have invested in this platform.
Yes.
There's an AI component of it. It's just, I think this is truly the missing puzzle piece that we've always hoped for. And now
Mm.
between that, listing concierge, global luxury, we really genuinely are in the best position to just beat everybody, really,
Yeah.
which is great
Yeah.
because I'm competitive.
And compete with ourselves and improve ourselves.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like you said about
Absolutely.
always, for me, you said I was an early adopter. I just like, I don't want to do what people are doing today. I want to be doing today what people will be doing in a year or two from now. That's kind of how I like to kind of do things. So always trying to be ahead of the game and new different things and ways of doing things. So, and the next gen thing you talked about with co-banker, I've got to make an appointment for that and kind of
Yes,
lean
next
into
available
that.
appointment. You know what? It's very much like Teledoc. I remember someone saying, like, what's the purpose of this? We want agents in the office. I said, listen, I want you to think about it like going to the doctor. Do we all go for our physicals? Absolutely. But when I have a sore throat and I'm on the road, I'm not trying to go into my doctor. I want a quick fix. I don't want to wait for someone. This is the same thing. So you guys as agents are in your cars, you're on the go. Sometimes you just need that quick help, whether it's 20 minutes, 40 minutes. And Next
Yeah.
Available is such a great way to capitalize on that quick support. And it's giving you access to marketers that aren't tethered to your geography. So great diversity and thought. One of the ones that, aside from the online audit that's being used a lot right now, is called Revive My Listing. So we are
Okay.
at a record high in the last decade of listings that are seeing price drops. And,
Yep.
the average agent is saying, oh, got to drop the price. That's it. at Coldwell Banker, we feel like it's more than just a price drop. We want to give you a campaign to relaunch this inventory in a really fresh and unique way. So that's one of the hot ones right now also.
I've never even heard of that. Our company has so many valuable
We have
products.
so,
The
we have
issue
so
is
much.
finding out about them.
Yes. So
Just called Revive My Listing.
nextavailableappointment.com. The other one that's great aside from nextavailableappointment.com is themarketingcatalog.com. When I started in this position 4 years ago, to your point, I said, God, we have a lot. Like, how could an agent or a manager possibly keep inventory of everything that we had? So I'll
Right.
give a shout out to Randy Bragdon, who's one of our field marketing directors in the West, who I know you know very well. He and his team created the marketing catalog, and I think it's like 80 pages at this point. Just it's one destination where everything lives. And not only does it cleanly lay out all of our different areas of
Mm.
value, but it also links to support. And that's the continued theme that I think is really important is here's this thing, but however you like to learn, you want an in-office appointment, a next available appointment, you want to watch YouTube in your pajamas at night and self-learn, if you need a workshop, all of those things are tied in with hyperlinks in that catalog. So again,
Wow.
themarketingcatalog.com is probably like our gold standard piece for where
Wow.
everything lives.
And that's where Revive My Listing is too, right?
You could find Revive My Listing in there, but Revive My Listing, you could do a 40-minute one-on-one free appointment with my marketing team in the strategy section of Next Available. So, I meet these agents across the company and they'll be like, oh, marketing, it's frustrating for me. And I'm like, do you know you have all of these resources? And sometimes they don't. And they're blown away that you get this when you affiliate with Coldwell Banker. It's really special.
Yes. Yeah. I'm so lucky. I mean, we have our marketing person in the office. We have our regionals that are here, couple of days a week. And then we have so there's always access. So, okay, I have that, but there's a lot more here that I need to lean into. And
It's a lot.
Tom Perry said something interesting the other day. He says, I think most of us that are successful are, I used to call it control freaks, right? I am. I'm
I
getting away
definitely
from it. And but Tom says, I think someone called him Controlius Maximus, and I thought, oh, that's a good way of saying it. So,
am.
leaning in more and like you said, delegating things out and getting people to do things on your behalf is a very important
For sure.
aspect.
And the problem
So, Holly,
solving. I mean, you can come to the marketing team and just say, hey, like, this is keeping me up at night. It's my CRM's a mess or my website's not getting leads. All of these things are, you could meet in the office or virtually with our team, and we will help in real time tailor specifically to your problems and your needs and
yeah,
create a great strategy, which is, I mean,
right,
that's really unique value that not a lot of brokerages can offer at the scale that we offer it at.
yeah. And one of the things that I love about our company, I mean, I've been with the company since I started in 1988. You've been here, what, almost 20 years? Most of the people like Randy, I mean, all the top people in the company, I've known them all forever.
We've been
And
here
there's
a long
such
time.
I mean, it's so wonderful to have such high quality people that stay because of the brand and who we are and the relationships we create, because that's what helps make our businesses easier, our clients achieve their goals of buying and selling. And so that's a really great aspect, I think, of what we have in our company.
It's funny. We've been meeting a lot with our CIH partners, and they're like, "Man, I thought being here for 5 or 8 years was a long time. You've all been here for decades." Like they keep saying, and we're like, "We really love it here. We really do."
I agree. I agree. So how are you doing time-wise? You okay?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay, good. So since probably a lot of agents are going to be watching this, give us some advice to a really experienced longtime agent, and then advice to maybe a new agent of like what you think they should focus on.
Yeah. Advice. Let's start with new agent. I think being in the office is more important than it's ever been. I know we're 6 years out from the post-pandemic era, right? Like it's time to get back in the office. That's where you are going to pick up so many little things that you would not get had you not spent time there, whether it's with your managers, at office meetings, with other agents. So I think the number one piece of advice I would give to someone just breaking in the business is get in the office and spend a lot of time listening, learning, sharing. I think that's going to really be like a great jumpstart. And I'm selfishly because of my marketing team, but I would say really, really lean on that marketing team for a 30, 60, 90-day plan. That's how I work on everything. I work in 30,
Yep.
60, 90s. It keeps me
Smart.
honest. It keeps me accountable. And I think they can help you to put that between your manager and your marketer. They'll help you to do that. The other thing that you're going to notice in a lot of our offices too is most of our offices have a GRA loan officer sitting in them. So you have a trifecta of support now. You have your mortgage advisor who can problem solve with you, your marketer,
Yep.
and your branch manager. Amazing.
Yep.
For a veteran agent, I think a less is more approach is really important. I think as you've built your business, the thing that I want agents to feel like they get is time back and efficiency. So I think figuring out how to be as effective and efficient with the time. Everybody has 24 hours in a day. How do you spend those 24 hours so that you're not burnt out after maybe 10, 15, 30 years in the business? And how
Yep.
do we lean on AI, marketing, whatever, to get that
Yep.
time back so that you can do other things besides just work around the clock? Because that's not what we're all working for. We're all working for
Yep.
freedom. We're all working
Yep.
for wealth, and figuring out how to get there in a way that you don't feel absolutely exhausted in is the ultimate luxury in life.
I agree. It's interesting you said about being in the office because I'm a total in-office person. I don't like to work from home. I mean, occasionally I have to work a little bit, but I'm in the office pretty much every single day. And I
Important.
remember when COVID, everything was shut down, right? And we weren't allowed to come in the office as well. I did come in the office. Nobody was here. I didn't have any staff. They were working remotely, but I would come at a private office. If you were there, my big office with a balcony and
Yeah.
door, and sat
Yes.
there, did my work, and went home. And I was found out at one point, and I told the manager, I said, "Look, I'm here by myself. My staff is not here. I have the door open, and it's an issue." So when COVID was over, and the manager was talking about, "Oh, well, during COVID, those that came to the office made the most money during that time."
Interesting. Very interesting. How
But
about
I
that?
believe in the camaraderie of the office and seeing people, and especially like in our market and most luxury markets, a lot of properties sell off market before they even go on up. I mean, you might just say at a meeting, "Oh, I've got a listing coming in the market in a week or two. We're getting it ready." One or two agents say, "Let's show it," and they buy it, or their clients buy it before it even goes on the market. So there's a lot of positive things about being in the office.
For sure. I agree completely.
And what do you think about shorts? We started doing a lot of shorts because according to Gemini and YouTube searches and all that, and the AI, shorts are one of the top things AI is looking for in the searches. Would you agree with that?
Absolutely. 100%.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. One of the things I'm supposed to be doing, which is 1 to 2 shorts a day, which has been tough, and 2 long forms a week. And I'm talking about long form 18 to 20 minutes. So, it's a little bit challenging to get that done and scheduled
Long
and
form's
planned.
hard. Long
Pardon?
form is hard to get people to watch. So I think doing it sparingly when it's impactful, absolutely. You and I have talked about using Opus Clip to take long
Yeah.
form and shortening
Yeah.
it to put on other
Yeah.
areas.
Yeah.
You know, we are, it's been said a million times, right? It's like this, we get fatigued from hearing it, but we live in an attention economy, right? Like we
Yes.
are vying for people's attention. And I have found that the shorter, the better. But when you can have great long form content, it is so great for your discoverability. It's, you are seen as an authoritative voice. So it feels like you've definitely found the right blend.
It's always always a blend of doing. And what happens is, I want to be, I'm a perfectionist. I always wanted to be perfect. So I'll shoot them but nowadays I just shoot things and I don't really like the way it looks. But, as people say, done is better than perfect, right? So I'm
100%.
trying,
Yes.
I'm trying to lean into that. My wife was like, I told her that the other day. She was like, "I'm so proud of you." I said, "Why?" She says, "That you're going to really do that because that's like, even today, my hair's
Important.
kind of mucked up and everything, but hey, it is what it is, right?"
You look great.
Any kind of last words of advice you want to share with people out there?
Real estate's tough right now. It is tough. I think figuring out all the resources you have available to you is incredibly important, whether that's support, training, whatever. So I think, I feel strongly, and I said it before, that we are uniquely positioned to be stronger than we ever have for our Coldwell Banker agents. So I think leaning into your brand in a way that you maybe haven't thought of recently, now's the time. Come in and say, "What do you have for me?" And I think agents are going to be blown away with just how much there is that they probably don't even know is there. So I'm really excited for the next 6 months, 12 months, 5 years. I have never been more inspired by everything that we have to offer. And I'm excited to see what that unlocks for our
Yeah.
agents across
My
not just the
executive
country, but
assistant
the world.
worked for a top luxury broker at Compass here in Beverly Hills, and like every other day, she's like, "I can't wait till the new Compass thing comes in July." She's
You're
so
going to
excited
love it.
about it all. So I'm
Yeah,
like, "Okay, okay, we'll get to there in July."
for sure.
But it's so true. Is there's so much noise out there, so much coming to us all the time. So one of the things I'm going to do now is I have to spend half an hour a day on AI, but I'm going to now spend maybe 45 minutes a week on this Cold Banker marketing catalog with my assistant to
Yes,
really
please.
see what's there because I'm sure there's so much there that I have no
There
clue
has to
about.
be, for
Yeah.
sure. And I'm
Well,
always a phone call away too. You know that.
I know you're so sweet. I try not to text you at night when you're with the family or in the weekends, but you always respond and all that. You coming back to California soon?
I'm sure I'll be there at some point this year for sure.
Well, one of these times we're going to get together again and have lunch or dinner. It's been way too long, and or the next Gen Blue or whatever we're going to be doing.
For sure. It's a pleasure. Thank you for having me on your show.
I love you and appreciate you, and we'll do it again sometime soon. Thank you.
Sounds great. Thank you.